Alright guys, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be Khorne, led by Kartoffel, facing off against the Dark Elves, who shall be helmed by Daniken here in a very off-meta matchup. We do have the Slaughterbrute, as well as Marlin Scarbrando, and the Bloodbrute Behemoth, so all the three big, scary SCs for Khorne are going to be in play, facing off against Dark Elves, who you would be like, oh, it's going to be Scourge Runner Chariots, it's going to be that kind of play against Khorne. Obviously, Scourge Runners are amazing. They can shoot big targets, they can run over infantry, what's not to love, but no, Chad Daniken Trop going to be coming in with the double Harganeth Executioner, which are not bad against some of the Khornate infantry, right? If they go with Marauders or some Warriors or something like that, these guys are going to have a good time. Now, like I said for the Khorne army, Scarbrand, what does he do well here? Rampaging is his big thing, so he does have the Rage Embodied, and this is good against flying units too. If a dragon's flying overhead, you can kind of shake your fist angrily below him, and it's going to be forcing him to land and fight you on the ground, which is very, very good. On top of that, it is going to be the Bloodbrute Behemoth as well as Slaughterbrute. So yeah, obviously, this is very counterintuitive to what would normally be good against Dark Elves, right? Because bringing big monsters against, mass Scourge Runners, repeater crossbows, usually you're going to have a bad time. But considering Daniken also went off meta and brought a lot of the investment in the army in the Harganeth Executioners, this is going to become a little bit more viable for sure. Marauders and Marauders, we do have the Brutes of the Hound, and that is basically going to be it. So it is a very brute-heavy build. We do have the Bloodbrute Behemoth and the Brutes of the Hound and the Slaughterbrute, the triple Brute combo, and Scarbrand for the honorary Brute as well. Okay. Now, Daniken going to be rocking a Dreadlord using the volley fire here on Scarbrand. Not bad. Couple repeater crossbows, going to be very good. Definitely going to be the MVPs if Dark Elves are able to win this. There are going to be 3 of those. And for the rest of the army, Bleak Swords, Harganeth Executioners, and it looks like it is going to be Word of Pain and Chill Wind. So the most chill of winds there are going to be doing some work. Now, let me actually see this. Brutes of the Hound, yeah, they do actually have the Khorne spell resist. I kind of thought since they were a Norscan unit originally, they might not have that, but that's kind of cool. Objectives here are going to be going to the Druchii. So the home objective of Khorne is going to be taken here in a moment. Objective 2 belongs to Dark Elves, and objective number 3 as well. I'm really curious how Kartoffel is going to make this work. I mean, they're going to have to get some good pick here. Uh-oh, Dragon's not paying attention. Rampage might be going down right now, creeping up under the dragon. Oh, there it is. Caught you slipping a little bit. All right, so now the dragon's in danger here. And the big gorilla brute squad is going to be getting in. So immediately the dragon's going to be taking a bit of a pounding, rampaging for another 4 seconds. It might actually live here. So that chill wind actually not a bad idea. It's going to be slowing down on these units by quite a bit here, 45%. Maybe allowing the dragon to escape here, but oh no, is that Chaos Harambe? It is Sila Angfingrim, the double back-to-back rampage. Oh my god, that is so forbidden. I love it. All right, so this Dreadlord here is going to be getting the business and getting absolutely destroyed. But, I have a strange feeling that Daniken is still going to find a way to make this game good, even though the Lord did just get karate chopped right away. So Dreadlord is shattered. That thing's going to be off the battlefield. And here we do have the big old Bloodbrute Behemoth chasing down these archers. On the other side of the battlefield, 2 Marauders of Khorne have made their way out of the woods, and they're going to be grabbing Objective 3 right there, while Khorne is now going to be getting its home objective with the Dreadlord on the run. That's so funny. I mean, that's all it takes. One blunder and Big Scarbrando is going to be able to rampage you down. Now, the Behemoth is very deep in enemy lines, and I would imagine that Daniken is going to be fanning out the Horse Archers. So, well, I guess they're the other Horse Archers, right? They're riding like evil Dark Horses, yes. So, those guys are going to be able to kind of probably turn about face and kite that thing. We'll have to see. So big volley fire into the Slaughterbrute Behemoth right here. It is going to be taking a bit of damage, and they are afflicted by frostbite, but Scarbrand does get into the secondary. His Rage Embodied probably still on cooldown right now, but the one big monster, the Slaughterbrute, looks like it's already going to be getting the business here. Yeah, it's not having the best of times, and is trying to chase back against these Dark Riders. On the side objective, we do have the engagement of the elite Dark Elf Infantry, who unfortunately are a little bit blocked up here by the Bleak Swords. If the Bleak Swords could pull back and let the Harganeth Executioners get in there, it'd be a much faster kill, but eventually the Dark Elves will be winning the infantry fight, which you normally wouldn't hear against Khorne. Now on the backside, we do see the Dark Elves calling in Coldwind Knights. They're anti-large fighters, so really good against all these things, but sometimes the critical mass of monsters, if there's enough of them, can, deal something that counters them. And if you really look at it from a cost perspective, Scarbrand, Bloodbrute, as well as Chaos Harambe here, that's like thousands and thousands of gold against like simply 1,000 gold here. Daniken able to get the archers back. So we do see 3 Dark Rider units getting a good crossfire right here. And Khorne still, I believe, is down on objectives. Yeah, we do see Khorne only has 1 objective right now. So despite the big pick in the beginning, the value is kind of close. Kartoffel is only ahead by about 700 or 800 value. Chaos Harambe getting in here. Going to be trying to do the rampage. What's the cooldown on that? Kill for Khorne. It is going to be a 2-minute cooldown right there. It does get popped. And no, it did not get popped. Okay. Scarbrand's pretty quick though, and he does manage to get the rampage right there. So that's one way to do it. Just shake your fist so angrily at them that they have to turn around and fight you. Elsewhere on the battlefield, the Dark Elves are able to win over here using their elite infantry. The Harganeth Executioners able to help bolster that fight. And elsewhere, where do we see the other elite Harganeth Executioners? Able to put a big beating down on the Brutes of the Hound. So some of the Brutes are still online. We do, of course, have the Bloodbrute Behemoth in good shape. Slaughterbrute, I think, is looking a little bit worse for wear. It is chasing down the Horse Archers, which is, of course, a good idea. And we do have the other Behemoth chasing down that Horse Archer unit. I mean, look, that's one way to do it. It's a little bit haggard, but if you just get one big monster chasing each of these cheap archers, I mean, it will shut them down from shooting. But Khorne is kind of struggling to win the infantry fight a little bit, as Scarbrand chasing some of those units off into the woods and is now going to be retreating back. Scarbrand really doesn't want to get surrounded back here by the Cold One Knights. If they get a surround on Scarbrand, anti-large attacks, then there's repeater crossbows shooting them. That's definitely a very quick way to kill them. Now, I wonder if Danikin's going to be calling in the Lord again. Probably not. Now, this is a really good choice here, bringing in the Blood Beast of Khorne, considering there's double Harganeth Executioner on the field. Blood Beast, bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Or a bit of a, try saying that 5 times fast. A bit of a counter to them. They have really good armor piercing, pretty high melee attack as well, and are going to be able to get through the Harganeth Executioners, while the Executioners are an anti-infantry unit. However, they do have really good melee attack at 56, so they can still connect for sure. Now, macro look at the battlefield. Let's see how the monsters are doing. The Monstars, a little Space Jam action. Bloodbrute Behemoth here is getting beat up, but does have the Gore Feast ability, so is going to be able to heal in combat if it can get in combat there. Not Gore Feast, but yeah, Strength from Flesh is its healing. And Chaos Harambe as well as Scarbrand right here, going to be battling the Harganeth Executioners. Cold One Knight's going to be lurking nearby, getting ready to get a fat charge in there, I would wager. But it does look like Khorne is kind of struggling against the Dark Elf counteroffensive here. The Blood Beast of Khorne, of course, is doing well against these guys. But yeah, man, look at the performance of the Executioners. I'm actually really impressed with how well they're doing against something that kind of you would perceive as a counter to them. On this side, the Blood Beasts are getting good value, up to 34 kills, about 400 value so far, but the Harganeth Executioners with the Murderous Mastery are really raid boss. Yeah, this is it. Leadership, Vigor, big damage buff, and they also cause fear, which is kind of cool. Not terribly relevant against the Blood Beast, but still kind of neat. So, looking at the battlefield, Danikin is pulling the value back here. On the backside, Cold One Knights are in reserve, and Dark Elves do have the objectives, and the big monsters are certainly kind of meeting their match at the hands of the Cold One Knights. Now, Dark Elves are a faction that historically have always been pretty good against big monster mash. They have some of the best anti-large, I don't know if they're among some of the better anti-large cavalry. Cold One Knights are pretty good, especially with their primal instincts and when the murderous mastery or prowess is activated, whichever one you bring, Dread Knights or regular ones. They're really good. So they trade well into the big monsters, and then the repeater crossbows are quite excellent at pounding down the big threats as well. So will Kartoffel be able to capitalize on the early victory of karate chopping that Lord? Right now it's looking a little bit tough. On the backside, Bloodbrute Behemoth is chopping through some of these Cold One Knights, and it's healing in combat as well. So the Strength from Flesh certainly is doing quite good back here, but it is being picked down by some of the archers, which there's not many, but it doesn't take too much. It's going to be 31 of those. Cold One Knights fighting to the bitter end, really showing why they are a pretty good cav unit, about 1,800 value there. Khorne going to be calling in Khorne Gores. Probably should have had some of those bad boys a little bit earlier on to bolster, but even still, it's better late than never. Chaos Harambe is looking worse for wear, doing some big old tricks over here, jumping around, but 56 HP. Probably going to be dying to some of the Velociraptor cav and or getting shot by the repeater crossbows, and Chaos Harambe does fall. But honestly, it did pretty good. I mean, the double rampage on the dragon was really nice, but Dark Elves still looks like they're able to come back from the deficit they had in the beginning. Marlon Scarbrando's looking really bad shape right here, sitting at 1152 HP and is going to be trying to retreat with 11 leadership, but the Velociraptors are all over him right now. 66 movement speed, and he's at 969, that's what she said, so getting in there. As more Blood Beasts of Khorne going to be moving up to the back objective, and honestly, Khorne's just kind of looking kind of cooked here, ladies and gentlemen. When I hadn't watched the replay before this game started, I just, if I see a replay and I know there's some good players playing, I usually just raw dog it, get in there and cast it, because, usually it's going to be good, but I thought this game was going to be kind of over. I thought it was just a replay of somebody sending me in, like, Khorne getting a funny catch, and then karate chopping from there. But yeah, I mean, Danikin chop, it's like in Lord of the Rings when the power of the ring could not be undone. And Sauron's just like taking everybody to the club. Yeah, it's basically like that scene. Even though, things are looking good, you push them back to Mount Doom, you still got to deal with the big daddy there. All right, so Khorne Gores are lurking, and we do see the Cold One Knights are definitely going to trade badly into the Halberds, but yeah, there's no way. On the backside here, the Dreadlord has returned, and that's going to be all she wrote. So GG, well played. I don't think there's any chances Scarbrand does die. On the backside, we do see a couple Forsaken coming out, going to be trying to split push that objective, but the big dragon's going to be able to bully these guys all day. Can either shoot with the bow or get in combat. And yeah, Khorne is basically just desperation mode right here. And that was a really fun game though, man. I mean, I love it. Shout out to our boy Kartoffel here. That was very fun to see that in action. The dreaded Scarbrand against Dark Elves with Chaos Harambe, double Rampage. I mean, it doesn't get any more forbidden than that build, I do dare say. Let's look at the value. So Scarbrand was able to get 2,200. The Slaughterbrute got about 12. A Bloodbrute Behemoth got 16. And Chaos Harambe also got 1,400 as well. So yeah, it was fun. That was really fun. I mean, not a single horseman in sight. That is a very Khorne-friendly build. The Blood God certainly approves. And look, hey, you almost took a game off old Daniken here. So that's pretty solid. But Daniken is the true Dreadlord of the Dark Elves. So not going to be an easy win, that is for sure. Really cool, the performance on the Hargonets, by the way. Like, I did not think they would trade well into the Blood Beast, but they actually fought pretty damn well. 1,600 and 1,300. This game basically had everything we want. Elite Infantry Shining, Haggard off-meta picks. It's great. All right, folks, we'll see you around. Take care of yourselves, and that is it for tonight.